Hello, and welcome to the Reboot of Ideas with Diana. This is the second episode of the Reboot since 2026. In addition, we're adding the Barbie chat. Today we have the Barbies with us, the main squad from the Barbies. Rebecca, named after a friend of ours who passed away many years ago. She was planning to be a college basketball coach. She was lesbian, and she stayed at a shelter in the area and was a close friend to Annette and me. And what happened was they found her dead by the quarry. It was very shocking to everybody because that day everyone was happy. Annette and I went out for dinner, and when we came back, we was shocked. Previously, the Wednesday before, we were taking a course that was offered at the shelter on conflict resolution, and Rebecca did a great job of doing the skit on conflict resolution as a basketball coach. She would have made a good basketball coach. So we have this Barbie as Rebecca. Rebecca was Caucasian, but Annette and I basically saw how she looked a lot like Rebecca in personality and in presence. So this Barbie represents Rebecca with her friend that she always had. They say about Rebecca was when at the shelter, when many mothers were stressed, she would always offer to play basketball with the kids, or even play games with the kids, act as a babysitter and coach, which relieved a lot of stress when many mothers were stressed at the Racine shelter. But some mothers did like her because Rebecca was lesbian, and they took out their religious bias on them. So that's why we remember Rebecca. We have her picture. We also went to her funeral. Diana, this Barbie is Diana. She is my mini-me. She is my mini-me as I exist today. Normally, most of the time I wear my wig. Today I don't. It's very hot out. It has been hot. My apartment doesn't have air conditioning, so I have my windows open when I do my podcast, so sometimes you may hear some background noises. But the thing is, I don't have it, and it keeps, right now it's keeping the apartment cooler, and I have it semi-darkened, so basically we can get the right lighting, keep it cool. Barbie, this is my second Barbie that I bought in 1991 after I had to get rid of all my dolls when I was in pre-med, because basically it's a LOTC program, a pseudo-LOTC program I should say, and I was told that if I wanted to continue I had to get rid of all my dolls, my G.I. Joes, my Barbies. I corrected since age 7, so this is the second Barbie we started with in 1991 when I worked at the park, and she's a great stress reliever, always willing to listen, non-judgmental. And what happened when I did work at the park, I'd have to hide her in my desk because basically at that time I was working half-time, so they had some very toxic male attitudes. So technically, if you couldn't have a Barbie. And also they had some old psychiatric rules where they used DSM-1. Thank God they used DSM-4 in that though. And then this is Jem. Jem reminds me of a friend that I knew in college. She is a musician, but also she is in the humanities. So basically, she liked Jem and the holograms, and so this Jem reminds her of a friend of mine, and her name is Jem. In addition, the Barbie Jem sorority has about 27 Barbies, and what I mean by Barbies is that a Barbie Jem sorority is all members. Some Barbies are 45 centimeters. We have one Barbie Gwen, who is actually 120 centimeters, so about 4 feet high, and then we have other Barbies that are 30 centimeters. We have mini Barbies that are 15 centimeters. Also, the mini Barbies, which are I think 5 centimeters or 3 inches, like that though. So, but what we do is in the Barbie Jem sorority house, we try to accommodate everyone. We actually have 2 doll houses. We have one as the Jem doll house based on the Jem and the Holograms cartoon doll sorority house, where they also took care of where the Barbie kids are, and then we also have the Barbie mansion where the adults are. So basically, it's a combination. And what we do sometimes is we have a mix. So all the Barbies mix. So we mix. So when they sit in different salons in the Barbie house or Jem house, they sit in. There's a mix. So all the Barbies mix around. And even when they sleep, sometimes they sleep in each other's beds like that. So basically, that they can sleep and mix with others while sleeping. One rule of the Barbie Jem sorority house is basically I don't adopt any Barbies until I can make a bedroom or bed. So, and everyone shares a bedroom, so no one has to sleep alone. So if they have a nightmare, they have someone to wake them up with, and there's someone to be comforted with. Well, since we started the Barbie collection, I've been at the K-Town Doll Fair in April, and also this last May. We had a great success. Ron comes with me and helps with me. Last K-Town Doll Fair, we sold 5 dolls. I should say we adopted 5 dolls, not sold, adopted. Excuse me. Because every time we go, we always look for people to adopt, and so we actually do a doll adoption. And when I go looking for Barbies, I also look for Barbies to adopt. So that basically, I go to Goodwill, I go to McCarley, I go to Salvation Army. So basically, the dolls that were given to Salvation Army so that they can find a new home with someone else. Because basically, it's important that everyone gets love and everyone gets tenderness. Kindness is free, as one book says by one Japanese author that's prominently displayed at Barnes and Noble, as well as civility and being nice to each other. Also understanding each other's differences. And part of that also is based upon how we think about our society. We see problems in our society and we think about how do we solve it. Some people think there's only one way to solve it, so one approach. And sometimes if one uses old style language, they'll say orthodox, not meaning religion, but basically the approach, one doxio, one approach. Well, I don't believe that, but what happens, so basically, sometimes I'm a little bit different from the grain because I'm actually a registered Republican, but however, I'm a registered Republican who believes in social safety net and a conscientious Republican. But I vote for the person, not necessarily for the party, because in today's society, definitions have become so slurred, so biased, so radicalized. You really have to know the person. So my criteria for voting someone is, well, could I meet them at Wendy's, McDonald's, or Barnes and Noble and have a cup of coffee and we could just talk like the way I'm talking now, not have to worry about guarding my words or whether if I say the wrong word, someone's going to try to call a TV lawyer to try to sue me or something. But if a person's that way, they won't get my vote. And what happens? That's why as we've seen what happens. What happened in Wisconsin primary, but in the Wisconsin primary, based on the people running and the people who I'm trying to vote for, who I know, I rather vote a split ticket. But by the way the primary is set for August, it's a straight ticket. So most of the people that I know and trust running for office on the Republican side of the ticket, so I'll be voting a straight ticket Republican. The Barbie house is apolitical. We have many people, many Barbies that have different political views, and also, but we all work together because we're all Americans. We're all members of planet Earth. We work together. We don't let our views divide us. We don't let our views cause violence. And even if we disagree with an action, we don't agree in applying violence. We're pacifists, but we just don't see it alike to self-defense, and we don't see it alike to self-defense of our country. For example, like some of the protests I've seen on the news, like happened in Philadelphia when someone moved their vehicle too close to a peace officer. The difference between protesting in this society today, what happened in Minneapolis, and protesting in the Summer of Love 1967. In the Summer of Love 1967, there were a group of young people who protested against the Vietnam War. At that time, my parents would have been in their mid-30s. My sister was just beginning to go into her teens. She would have been, let's see, well, she would have been basically about 13 or 14. However, when the Summer of Love was done in '67, there's a march upon the Pentagon. It's interesting when National Guards were called the Guard part of the Pentagon. What the protesters did, they didn't do like they did in Minneapolis. They didn't try to walk into them. They didn't try to break the line. One young woman came and with a flower, and she offered the soldier a flower, and the soldier couldn't let go of his rifle, so she put the flower inside his rifle barrel. And what happened was she did that for the other soldiers as well. Then she kindly walked away and kept a proper distance, which I always tell people 2 arms length, because if you come before 2 arms length, that's considered a threatening distance if there are peace officers present. 2 arms length. And the thing is that But what's different from the protesters today, many protesters today, I don't know if they would be able to have the discipline to do that. So when friends of mine who are Democrats, and they say, well, we want to go to this No Kings protest, or we want to go to against President Trump, I said, fine, you have a right to protest, but please be intelligent. Don't get yourself arrested. Don't get yourself thrown in prison, and don't get yourself hurt. And they said, well, I want to stand in front of line. No, don't. And especially if someone is paroled from prison. There's one friend of mine. She is paroled from prison, and she wanted to say, I want to make a difference now that I transition. I want to make. I said, they're going to throw you right back in. I said, don't do that. I said, if you want to, stand at the back of the line. And what happens if you don't want to stand at the back of the line? Just make a donation to a registered peaceful political group. And based on your income, $5 is fine. For many people who are just making it, $5 is fine. You don't have to give your whole rent money away to a political cause. $5 is fine, because there are many other people who donate $5 and they'll have enough money to do everything. And that's the same thing like on the income tax. It used to be $1 donation for your income tax, but now it's basically up to $5. So with Reboot Ideas with Diana Talk, we're going to discuss different things about it in the Barbie world. Also, we're going to discuss certain social concepts. Some liberal friends of mine in Evanston sort of said, well, we should refrain from talking about certain social concepts in the Barbie world. But I think it's important too, because the Barbie world has always been supportive of Barbies everywhere doing anything. Barbies can do anything, and also that means Barbies can discuss anything. So let me know what you think. The best way to reach me is on YouTube. And to many viewers who are viewing me, if you're wondering why you can't reach me on Facebook, there was a brouhaha that happened with Facebook. My Facebook account was hacked. So what I did was I shut down my Facebook account. So if you want to reach me on Instagram, and also reach me on Pinterest or YouTube, as well as X. But my Facebook accounts were hacked, so I'm in the process of shutting down the Facebook groups, because basically I was concerned about what the hacker did. So just if you can't reach, that's the reason why you can't reach me on Facebook. I shut it down because my Facebook sites were hacked. So reach me on Pinterest, Instagram, X, and YouTube. Well, thank you again for watching, and we're going to do more videos, and we're going to show you more things, as we're going to have more concerts with the Barbies. I'm planning to complete Gemini lockers so that they can give a concert. Also, I'm planning to complete the Rainbow High Junior High's Prismatics so they can give a concert, as well as Gemini holograms. But so far I'm getting closer to completing them, and I'm looking forward to seeing you at the August 25th Toy Fair in Racine by Fountain Banquet Hall near Farm Fleet in Sturtevant. And it's on Highway 11. Even though people refer to it as Racine, it's Racine Sturtevant, because they're like two suburbs. So if you see Farm Fleet, you go to the big Walmart. You go a little bit under the bridge, under the big Walmart, you'll see Farm Fleet, and right next to Farm Fleet is Fountain Banquet Hall. So, and that runs from Sunday, August 25th, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. So I hope to see you there, and also I'm going to bring some new members of the Barbie sorority, and also new members of the Barbie sorority that are available for adoption. Well, until next time, thanks for watching.